In the soft glow of the late afternoon light, the hum of the open road seemed to stretch on endlessly, carrying with it a quiet, unspoken tension. Wayne Lockwood kept his hands firm on the steering wheel, his eyes darting toward the rearview mirror every few moments. Beside him, the small, frail form of his young son, Jody, sat bundled in an oversized jacket, struggling against a persistent sniffle. The journey had been long, marked by quiet detours and lingering memories of a life that had once felt much simpler. A few miles back, near the quiet bend of Aliso Canyon, the afternoon tranquility had been shattered. A transport truck carrying surplus supplies sat idle by the shoulder, its journey abruptly interrupted. Wayne had tried to keep things calm, assuring everyone that no one would be harmed. Yet, as fate would have it, chaos intervened, leaving a shadow over what was supposed to be a clean departure. The echo of an unexpected struggle echoed in Wayne's mind, a stark reminder that the path he had chosen was rapidly narrowing. Meanwhile, in a sunlit office nestled in the city, an elderly gentleman with sharp, kind eyes adjusted his reading glasses. Barnaby Jones, a private investigator known for his patient wisdom and gentle persistence, sat across from a hopeful grandmother, Mrs. Nesbit, and her newly paroled daughter, Julie. Joining them was J.R. Jones, an energetic young legal associate eager to lend a hand. It had been 7 long years since Julie had run away, chasing dreams adorned with flowers and idealist promises. Those years had transformed her from an impulsive youth into a mature woman whose only wish now was to reunite with her young son, Jody. The room held a tender warmth as Julie looked at her mother, the distance of time melting away into a quiet moment of reconciliation. Finding Jody, however, meant retracing the faint trail left behind by Wayne Lockwood. Barnaby studied an old, slightly faded photograph of an old pickup truck. The license plate was partially obscured, but Julie strained her memory, recalling the playful 3-letter combination they had once joked about. Jinx. That single detail provided the spark Barnaby needed to begin asking the right questions. Across town, the afternoon sun cast long shadows over a local park where Wayne met with an acquaintance named Griff, a smooth-talking broker who always operated on the fringes of the local trade. Sitting on a park bench, the two men discussed business in quiet, measured tones. Wayne sought a quick resolution to clear his debts and find a safe haven for Jody, while Griff remained ever watchful for a profitable opportunity. Nearby, little Jody wiped his nose, asking innocently if they could stop for a hamburger and a vanilla malt. Despite the turmoil surrounding him, Wayne's eyes softened as he looked at his son, agreeing to the simple request with a faint, rare smile. Barnaby's investigation led him to a bustling photography studio where an old acquaintance named Rudy was busy setting up lighting equipment. Between directing soft lights and adjusting camera lenses, Rudy offered a gentle clue, pointing Barnaby toward an old contact named Leo Shinsun, who lived out near the quiet hills past Topanga Canyon. As the sun began to set, casting a warm amber hue across the canyon, Barnaby made his way up the winding roads toward a rustic cabin. Nearby, an elder parishioner named Ralph was tending to his garden. Ralph spoke fondly of Leo's father, a hard-working railroader, while gently shaking his head over the restless choices of the younger generation. He recalled seeing a young woman in a colorful outfit heading down the hill just moments before, suggesting that Wayne and Jody had only recently departed. A short distance down the road, a young woman named Amanda was attempting to hitch a ride when Barnaby pulled up in his car. Offering her a seat, Barnaby carefully guided the conversation, helping her realize that continuing down a path of reckless choices would yield little peace. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Amanda admitted that Wayne had gone to seek out Griff to finalize his affairs, desperate to find a way forward for himself and his young boy. With time ticking away, Barnaby formulated a clever plan. Disguising his intentions under the guise of an interested buyer, Barnaby walked into Griff's modest office in Studio City. Posing as a distinguished gentleman looking for a large-scale transaction, Barnaby engaged Griff in a sharp, polite exchange. The bluff worked, prompting Griff to arrange a meeting at a secluded roadside location where the transfer was set to take place. As the quiet afternoon turned into dusk, two vehicles met along a quiet, tree-lined stretch of road past the Baldero turnoff. Griff and his associate stood near the parked van, expecting a routine exchange. However, Barnaby arrived shortly after, stepping out of his vehicle with steady composure and calling for everyone to lower their weapons and let common sense prevail. Suddenly, Wayne emerged from the van, holding little Jody close to protect him from the rising tension. Griff, seeing his leverage slipping, tried to use the moment to force a standoff. Wayne turned to Griff, his voice calm but firm. "Leave the boy out of this," he insisted, stepping between his son and the danger. He gently guided Jody toward the safety of the van, ensuring the young boy was shielded from the conflict. In that decisive moment, Barnaby acted swiftly, stepping in to disarm the situation before anyone could come to harm. The tension dissolved into the quiet evening air as the sound of distant sirens announced the arrival of the local authorities. Moments later, a familiar car pulled up along the shoulder. Julie stepped out, her eyes locking onto the small figure resting safely near the van.
"Jody?"
She called out softly, her voice trembling with emotion. The little boy looked up, his face brightening as he recognized the gentle smile he had remembered for so long. "Mommy," he called out, running into her open arms. Julie held her son tight, tears of relief brushing against her cheeks as she held him close. Wayne watched from a short distance, a quiet sense of peace finally settling over his worn expression. He knew that despite the long and winding road they had traveled, Jody was finally back where he belonged, safe and surrounded by love. Standing nearby, Barnaby Jones smiled warmly, adjusting his hat as the soft twilight embraced the canyon. It was a long journey home, but as the night settled gently over the hills, the promise of a bright, peaceful tomorrow had finally arrived.